Hello there, one and all, and we're back once again for the EuroFantasyLeague Podcast, where we're going to give you a fortnightly review of the Premier League, La Liga and Serie A. And by we, I'm talking, of course, about myself, and once again, David Fennick joins me. Hello there, Dave.
Alright, Jamie, how are you doing?
Yeah, not too bad. I was trying to come up with a clever name for you, but I couldn't quite manage it this time, unfortunately.
I'm sure there's a few names you could come up with about me.
Oh, well, I've none that I could do on the air, though, unfortunately.
Maybe it's not, yeah.
Right, let's get on with the show. Yes, welcome along, as I say, to the Euro Fantasy League podcast. We're with you every 2 weeks here on the podcast, and we're going to be giving you, as I say, an update on the Premier League, Serie A and La Liga with a fantasy twist. All the stats from EuroFantasyLeague.com, and you can find us and subscribe, which you've probably already done, on iTunes, Acast, Google Play, Podcast Addict, Stitcher, TuneIn. And if you could take the opportunity when you can just to leave us a rating and a review as well, it just helps us get up the charts a little bit and makes us a little bit more visible, which is never a bad thing, Dave, is it?
Yeah, fire away, whatever people want to do, good or bad.
Well, yeah, preferably good, but yes, absolutely. We value constructive criticism as well. Now, Dave, we're going to start off a little bit differently this time, if it's okay with you. We're going to play a little game. Now, it's inspired. Kind of I listen to a podcast called The Football Ramble, which I suspect a fair few people do, and there's a game on there called Going for Gold, and it's taken from that. I think Jermaine Genius kind of piggybacked on the back of that with his Jermaine's Jigsaw or whatever he calls it on 5 Live.
It's not copyrighted, is it?
It's not a copyrighted game. No, the name of it's Going for Gold, so I think the copyright of it's already kind of gone on that one. That one on the Football Ramble anyway.
Don't want us getting into bother,
No, we won't do. We've credited our inspiration for the game. I just thought it could be a little bit of fun, really.
All right,
so
fine.
I'm going to give you a few clues throughout the episode, and I want you to have a little guess as to who the player is. Feel free to have a guess as you go if you like. Or just make a mental note of the clues and maybe have a little guess at the end, So I'm going to start you off with the first guess. This player was born on the 10th of May 1969, and he signed schoolboy terms with his local team at the age of 12. So that's all you're getting for clue number one. Like I say, they're going to get better as we go along.
Heck, I mean, you've only narrowed it down to about 3 million.
Well, yeah, I know, that's the point, but it will become clearer with
I'm not guessing on that one.
No, it'll become clearer with the following clues.
What did you say, 1916?
1969, yes, absolutely, the 10th of May, so 2 days after my own birthday.
That'll make about 49.
It'll make him 49, I believe, yeah, it'll be 50 next year.
There's nothing wrong with maths anyway.
I'll say 2 days after my birthday. I came along 15 years after that, I'll have to say, but good maths.
I'll not say when I came along.
So we'll leave that as a guessing game for another day, I think. So yes, we're going to start off, shall we, with the weekend winners, as we normally do.
Okay.
And do you want to deliver the first one, or do you want me to go through with the first one?
I think Harry Kane was the first one, wasn't he?
Harry Kane, he absolutely was. Tottenham striker.
Basically, for scoring 100 Premiership goals. He did miss a penalty against Liverpool, but then scored one after that in what was a very spicy end to that game.
It was a really exciting finish to that match, wasn't it?
Yeah, but Kane, 100 Premiership goals, and that's a great feat for him.
It absolutely is. I mean, he's 13 million to get into your fantasy team. Only got 2 points from that game because of the penalty miss, I think it was, really. Took a couple of the points away from him. But yeah, as you say, 100 goals in the Premier League. And he's barely been around 5 minutes, really, has he?
I know, exactly. Can Spurs hold on to him?
Yeah, well, that's going to be the question, isn't it? I think Mauricio Pochettino spoke a few days ago about how Tottenham really missed an opportunity to make a statement in the cup game against Newport when they got the 1-1 draw. It was a disappointing result for them, but he was really keen to emphasise they want this FA Cup this year, just to sort of show, I suspect, Harry Kane and some of the other players that might be getting a few eyes from away from Wembley.
Yeah, and I think that replay is this week, isn't it, Jamie?
I believe it is, yeah.
Tuesday or Wednesday night.
Yeah, that's right.
Good for Newport to get a trip out to Wembley with them and the fans.
Well, it's wonderful. It's about the most lucrative away day they could have had, really, isn't it, Wembley Stadium?
Yeah, keep them going for a few more years, and total money spinner for them. And probably, if you think about it, it was probably better Tottenham equalising late on in that FA Cup tie and getting a draw than Newport actually beating them in the next round.
Yeah, that's right, because, I mean, even in the next round, if they got an away day to Manchester United or Arsenal, it's still sort of, all right, the clubs might be bigger clubs. I'm going to be controversial there, but just for the revenue for the club, I think an away day at Wembley should be a real, like I say,
Definitely.
really big day for them. But we digress a little bit there. Harry Kane, as I say, is the first of the weekend winners there, and we're going to add to him. We're going to just travel up the road, really, across North London. We're going to put Aaron Ramsey in there because I think it's difficult not to, isn't it?
Yep, hat-trick, and done really well. He's always playing great football, Aaron Ramsey, and plays for his national club, Wales, and does well there. But, yep, good points return, I guess, from the weekend from Aaron Ramsey.
Yeah, it was. It was 14 points he earned. That was from the 3 goals, 4 points a goal, and then the 2 bonus for it being a hat-trick. That was a 5-1 win for Arsenal.
4-0 up inside the first 15, 20 minutes.
And it feels like we said that. I think, in fact, we did say that, didn't we, on the last episode, because they'd just gone 4-0 up against Crystal Palace after 22 minutes.
Right.
So
scoring some goals, especially at home, aren't they?
a couple of really quick leads that they've managed to get there. And
because they had a dodgy result midweek, haven't they, at Swansea?
They did, yeah. That was Swansea getting a couple of massive results lately there.
Yeah, but we'll touch on a couple of injury problems for them that I think once we go back to the roundup of the Premier League, we'll talk about that.
We'll have a little chat about Swansea, definitely. Yeah. But yeah, this weekend was actually Aaron Ramsey's biggest fantasy point scoring weekend of the season. The second biggest point weekend that he had for EuroFantasyLeague. He earned 6 points at home against Huddersfield. That was in a 5-0 win, and away to Everton. So Everton's obviously a club that he quite enjoys making some contributions in, against. Absolutely.
A team that I know we'll go to it later, a team that's struggling at the minute.
Yeah, they are. Absolutely, they are. It's been a bit of it's been a real roller coaster season for them, hasn't it?
Yeah, definitely chopping and changing a bit.
Yeah, that's right. Well, at every level, really, as well. So the third weekend winner we've got is Gonzalo Higuain at Juventus, 11 million. He also got 14 points. He scored a hat-trick in Juve's humongous, really, 7-0 win over Sassuolo. So a massive result there. Season total of 56 for Higuain, but this was his best game.
It's not a massive season total, then, really, is he? But he's done well this week.
It's decent. It's solid without being anything huge. But this was a really good one. It meant Juventus kept their 1 point lead over Napoli at the top of the table, but it did give them a big bit of breathing space in the goal difference tally. They've got they're now better off by 11 than Napoli are. So that's because Napoli only got +2, Juve got +7. So that's been quite a big weekend all round for Higuain and Juventus there, but still only a point lead. It's a point lead at the top of the league. Quite an exciting league title chase.
I think it's the only one in Europe, isn't it? The Premier League's done, La Liga's done, so there's only the Serie A, which we'll touch on a bit later.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, but if you are a Serie A fan and you want to play the Serie A only version of the game, visit fantasyserie.com. And I should have said, for Harry Kane and Aaron Ramsey, the Premier League exclusive game is fantasy-premier.com. So that rounds up the weekend winners then, Dave. Do you want another couple of clues moving on before we go on to the best 11? Right. Now, this player, I'm going to read it in the first person. So I went on to play senior football for my local side, debuting at the age of 17, and I went on to score 103 goals in 185 games for them. Right.
So he scored 103 and 185 for his local team.
Well, his local team, but I'm not telling you what level his local team's at.
Okay.
And
right,
he also...
I'm still not...
I'll give you another clue to push you forward.
Give us more clues later on.
I've got another one to read out to you now.
All right.
I've got another one ready to go. He made his international debut in 1990, and he went on to score 37 goals from 79 international caps.
Now we're getting... So that's 1990, and how many goals?
37 goals from 79 international caps.
Right, now we're getting somewhere. I'll get the brain matter into gear.
Right, so what we're going to do, we're going to let Dave's brain matter kick into gear, because it might take a moment or two, and we'll be right back with the best 11 of the weekend coming right up. And welcome back. And now it's time, Dave, where we're going to give the best 11 of the weekend as well. So these are all the players that have produced basically the biggest point returns for their positions. And if you would like to refer to EuroFantasyLeague.com/players/team_of_month, that'll give you the team of the month. But this is just the best 11 of the past, well, we're going to say the few days, because the week points total covers the previous 7 days. So the best 11 of the last week. And we're going to start off in goal, Alessio Cragno at Cagliari. 1.5 million, 7 points he got. Clean sheet from Cagliari's 2-0 win over our friend Spal.
Oh, fair enough. Spal is struggling.
And I did research into that. Cragno did play 90 minutes, following on to the criticism that I got from all quarters for choosing a load of substitute players last time.
Not that you bear a grudge.
Oh, no, not at all. So Alessio Cragno there in goal. And he's going to be supported by his defenders. Alexandro at Juventus, 10 million. He got 11 points. That was a goal, the clean sheet, and an assist in Juventus' 7-0 win over Sassuolo. Not bad for a defender, is it?
Yeah.
So brilliant. Alexandro, who played 90 minutes, he's the first defender, and he's been partnered by Nathan Ake at Bournemouth. 2 million, 9 points. He got the goal and the clean sheet at Chelsea midweek. He didn't get anything in the 2-1 win over Stoke at the weekend.
Bournemouth have been going well lately. Brilliant.
Yeah, they have. I mean, that was a great result at Chelsea, wasn't it? It was absolutely
Nobody
wonderful.
saw that coming, I don't think.
No, they didn't. And it's put Antonio Conte under a little bit more pressure, but we're going to talk about that a bit later.
Mention him when we go on to the Premier League stuff, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. But we're going to move away from the Premier League. We've got a bit of an extra continental flavour to the best 11 this time. We're going for Gianluca Mancini at Atalanta. 2.5 million. He got 9 points. He scored the decisive goal and kept the clean sheet in Atalanta's 1-0 win over Chievo. It was only his 4th appearance of the season.
All right.
So that's not too bad, really.
Keep him in the side then.
Yeah, definitely.
Stuff like that.
I think I'm going to award him the honorary captaincy because, like I said, making a contribution like that after only 4 games. So he's not going to have maximum match sharpness, you wouldn't have thought. So Gianluca Mancini is there in defence. And the 4th defender, I'm a little bit confused by, and I don't know if you are as well. Victor Wanyama, who's a defensive midfielder, but he is listed as a defender on the EuroFantasyLeague game.
Really?
He is, yeah.
He's never been a defender. He's always been a midfielder.
Yeah, defensive midfielder he is. Maybe this is leading on from our chat last time about defensive midfielders. But yeah, Victor Wanyama, 7.5 million, 8 points. He scored a goal in Tottenham's...
What a goal it was.
In the 2-2 draw at Liverpool. But he did lose 2 points for 2+ goals conceded, but he earned 8 points over the course of the last few days.
Goal.
Yeah, it was a wonderful goal. I was just watching it back not long ago. He got the clean sheet for Tottenham's 2-0 win over Man United in midweek. That's where I was getting a bit confused. So Victor Wanyama, controversially, making up the defence there. And we're going to move forward into midfield. We've gone 4-4-2. Aaron Ramsey, who we've already mentioned there, the hat-trick and the 5-0 win over Everton. Massive return, only 8 million to get him in your team. So that's not a bad investment, that.
Definitely.
And then he's joined in midfield by Mo Salah at Liverpool, 9.5 million, 14 points. He got 2 goals in Liverpool's draw with Tottenham, 2 goals midweek. Liverpool beating Huddersfield 3-0, got the goal and the clean sheet. So that
I called him earlier on in the season, but he could be Football of the Year, couldn't he?
Yeah, I think he's far out, exceeded everybody's expectations, I think, Mo Salah. And then the next midfielder, rather, Sami Khedira at Juventus. Been a little bit maligned, Khedira has at times for Juve, but he got 12-point return, 7.5 million. He got 2 goals and provided an assist and got the points for the clean sheet. He only played 45 minutes though, Dave, so I'm going to get that out there straight away.
All right, before I mentioned it.
Yeah, but I mean 12 points, like I say, 2 goals and an assist in 45 minutes of football there for Sami Khedira. And making up the midfield, Asier Ilya-Ramendi at Sociedad, 2.5 million, 10 points. That was for 2 goals and the clean sheet in the 5-0 win over Deportivo La Coruña. That's a good result for Real Sociedad as well.
Tis Deportivo are struggling a bit at the bottom of the league. We'll touch on that in a bit, but they're third off bottom.
Yeah, they've been, I seem to recall, they've been giving away a few big results as well lately.
Yeah,
but that 5-0 win against Real Sociedad certainly raised a few eyebrows. And up front, we've got Gonzalo Higuain, who we've already mentioned.
Yep.
11 million, 14 points, hat-trick against Sassuolo. And he's joined by a player we're both slightly familiar with, Christian Stuani, former Middlesbrough.
Stuani,
at Girona. 7 million he is. He got 8 points, 2 goals, both goals in the 2-0 win at home against Athletic Bilbao. So that's Christian Stuani making up the best 11 there. So if you got any of those players in your team, congratulations. That's not been quite a wise move. So would you like me to give you another clue?
Yes, please.
I can sense this is eating away at your very soul now.
It is.
Throughout his 20-year football career, he only played for 3 different clubs. And the trophy cabinet, this is where it's going to start falling into place for you here. His trophy cabinet includes 1 Eredivisie title, 3 Premier Leagues, 4 FA Cups and 3 Community Shields.
You got it.
Right, you've got it. Keep it to yourself. Keep it to yourself, but I told you it would start falling into place there.
Yeah.
So if you just hang fire there, have a little think about that yourself and come right back. We're going to have a little quick roundup of some of the results in the league standings. I'll give you another couple of clues, maybe reveal who it is, and then we'll have a quick chat about what's going on in football. So we'll be right back. Okay, and welcome back to the Euro Fantasy League podcast. So we're going to have a little look now, a quick roundup of what's been going on in the 3 leagues that were covered, Dave. So what have you got going on in the Premier League then?
Well, Premier League, I mean, it's Man City's, they've won it, haven't they? But struggled a bit at Burnley, didn't they? And Raheem Sterling, the chances he missed, especially one of them, I've never seen him miss like it, but he missed loads of chances. And Burnley got a late equaliser, which I think was a coupon buster for everybody. And so Man City have to make do with the draw, but they're still well ahead.
I mean, we saw that goal going in, and you said at that precise moment, didn't you? Yeah. You just went coupon buster.
Coupon buster, yeah. Riyad Mahrez still missing at Leicester, I think, after his proposed move to Man City was quashed.
Yeah, quashed at the last minute, wasn't it, by the sounds of things?
Yeah, so he's decided to not turn up for training and that. But it was interesting, I think one of the Leicester players, I can't remember who it was saying if he does come back, they're not going to hold it against him that he's missed training and that, Rob. Yeah. They said he's disappointed his dream move hasn't materialised and probably dream money as well.
Well, yeah.
So, but they said they'd welcome him back on the training ground. So whether he's turned up for training today, I don't know. But Riyad Mahrez gone missing.
Yeah, I know.
Conte, Chelsea manager, like this one, to me, he's looked miserable all season.
Yeah.
But he's looked more miserable the last few weeks. I'm convinced, he's trying to get sacked. So then he would get paid up his money and could take the Italian national job. But
that's
the way
exactly what I was going to propose to you.
And that, it just... He looks like he wants to be sacked. Last year he was a breath of fresh air, he's smiling, he's running down touchlines. This year he just looks absolutely miserable, and I'm sure he wants angry. To get sacked.
Well, he's turned around and said that he's given all of himself to Chelsea, and he's called for the club to reciprocate that with a public vote of confidence. So, I mean, it's starting to look like the writing's on the wall a little bit for him, isn't it?
I think the last time the Chelsea hierarchy gave a public vote of confidence was to Mourinho, then they sacked him the week after. Yeah. So maybe that's why he's after the public vote of confidence.
Yeah, to try and get the boot. Quite possibly, yeah. But, I mean, Conte, like you say, it's like a different man. And that's kind of been reflected on the field as well, hasn't it? I mean,
yeah, definitely. Things aren't right there. The one week they've got a good result, and then the next week they're getting beat, and it's definitely things aren't right there off the field. Yeah,
that's right. I mean, like I say, Man City, yes, they've been above and beyond everyone else in the league. We know that. You could argue that Conte wouldn't be blamed for, not managing to defend the title. But it's just the manner in which things are happening. They look great one week, and then they'll, as we said, like the Bournemouth result, they just look as though they struggle to turn up.
Definitely. Swansea, who we mentioned earlier, who've been going well of late under the new manager.
Yeah, Carvajal.
But Leroy Fer is out for the season, and so is Wilfred Boney. First done his Achilles, and Boney's done knee ligaments, and both of them won't be seen again this season. So that's a major blow for them.
Yeah.
they're trying to avoid relegation, and as I say, they've had good results of late, but this could have a detrimental effect on them staying in the Premier League.
Yeah, I think that it's going to be a real struggle. I mean, it's still fairly tight near the bottom of the Premier League at the moment, though, isn't it? I mean, it's there's still plenty of time for clubs to get out of it, but as you say, it's not a good sign. It really isn't.
No, and especially now, you can't bring people in.
Yeah, well, that's right. Yeah, because even free transfers and all of that, you wouldn't have thought.
And then briefly, just looking forward to the weekend, the game that sort of hits out there is Spurs v Arsenal Saturday. Yeah. So that's the big game this weekend in the Premier League.
Tottenham seem to have been involved in a few of the biggest games lately as well. I mean, Liverpool the weekend just gone, as you say, Arsenal.
So that's a bit of a roundup of the Premier League.
Well, we'll just have a quick look at the league table, how that's standing. City atop, you might be shocked to hear, though their lead has been reduced to 13 points after they got that draw at Burnley, and Manchester United beat Huddersfield, so United in second. Liverpool third on 51, Chelsea fourth on 50. Just a point
I think it's at the bottom where it's going to be more interesting.
Yeah, that's right. Well, I was just going to say Chelsea a point ahead of Tottenham, who are in fifth, but Chelsea have got a game in hand on all the clubs in the top five there. But at the bottom, West Brom, rock solid, 4 points adrift at the bottom now, with Huddersfield just above after they started so brightly. But they've
I think I said, I don't want to say I told you so, but I think, when they were going well early in the season, I said they'd still struggle to stay up, and I think that's going to be the case.
That's right. They're on an absolutely dreadful run of defeats. And then you've got Stoke City, who looked pretty much down and out a few weeks ago. They didn't have a very good time of things at the weekend, but they're in 18th.
I think any of the bottom 10 could go down.
Yeah, they absolutely could. Well, Stoke are tied with Swansea on 24, and then you go up to, say, 11th. Watford in 11th on 27, only 3 points ahead of the relegation zone in 11th place.
It's going to be tight.
So it is, it's going to be shaping up. Like you say, I think that's going to be this year's title race, if you like, for want of a better word. It's all the eyes are going to be on who's going to go down, I think. So there's the Premier League rounded up. What have you got going on in, would you like to do La Liga or Serie A next?
La Liga, it was a bit of a spicy end to the Catalan derby between Espanyol and Barcelona. 1-1 draw.
Yep. And
claims of racism from Barcelona's Samuel Umtiti regarding a comment made from Espanyol's Sergio Garcia.
Yeah.
Tempers flared down the tunnel, and Piqué, of all people, had to separate them. And Piqué, not Espanyol's favourite, he'd upset them their fans early on the season with their comments he'd made. But Piqué acting as peacemaker or trying to, but Catalan derby ended in a bit of naughtiness.
Yeah, horrible.
But
horrible
Barcelona top 58 points, Atletico Madrid 49, Valencia 40. Then at the bottom you've got Malaga 13, Las Palmas 14, and Deportivo 17.
Yeah, Deportivo seem to be sinking like a stone, I think, a little bit at the moment. I think it's going to be a real struggle for them this year. But as you say, Malaga and Las Palmas really struggling down the bottom of La Liga. So what have you got going on in Serie A? I mean, the biggest
Serie A,
story
just to
was
say that
Juventus,
Bakary Sagna is the ex-Arsenal and Man City player. He's joined Serie A bottom club Benevento for the rest of the season. I think Benevento, they're going to get relegated. They're only on 7 points, but he's joined them for the rest of the season. And Napoli, we've still got top on 60 points. Juventus 59, so Serie A is going to be tight. And then Lazio on 46. And the big game this weekend is Napoli leaders versus Lazio in third place. So there's 14 points in that at the minute. Can they get it down to 11 this weekend?
Yeah.
And at the bottom, you've got Benevento, 7 points. Verona 16, and our friend Spal on 17.
Yeah, Spal are only 3 points adrift of Crotone. I think I said before that Juventus were in front of Napoli. I think I got that the wrong way around.
Yeah, you did. They're a point behind.
It didn't ring entirely true when I was saying it, but yeah, that's right. So apologies for that if you picked up on that deliberate mistake. So that's Premier League, Serie A, and La Liga going on, was it? I mean. Jurgen Klopp going back to the Premier League. He wasn't a happy man with Harry Kane, was he?
Well, what happens, Kane is offside when the ball's played through. So that was what his gripe was. Yeah. He's offside, but then it comes off a Liverpool defender. So who tries to clear it and sort of scuffs it into Kane's path. So he's offside as the ball's played through, but then he's onside because the defenders scuffed it through to him. But that's not right.
No.
He's offside at the beginning of the move. And I think, it's getting very complicated, all this phase 1, phase 2 business. I think it was Brian Clough who said, if you're on a football field, you're interfering with play. And I've always stood by that, you know what I mean?
That's a great
point. And it would make it much easier for the referee, for his assistants and everything.
Yeah.
Fair enough, you'd get a volley from 30 yards called like offside and everyone would be saying, well, it shouldn't have been just... But if people knew it, and just you've got to look along the line. And
that's right.
If you're offside, you're offside, and that's my opinion.
You're removing a lot of the scope for opinion as well, aren't you? You're making it a flat out.
You're leaving everyone open to interpretation,
Yeah.
Whereas if you're offside, and I think it needs to be changed to that.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. Very good point. What do you think, dear listener? Do you think that Dave's spot on the money there, or do you think that there should be a little bit of initiative involved in that? Get in touch. We're on Twitter, EuroFantasyPod, or you can email us, EuroFantasyPod@gmail.com as well. So, would you like
do you want to give the last clues in these before I ask you something and before we sign off?
Oh, yes, absolutely. Yeah, no problem. So I've got your fifth clue here. I was inducted into the English Football Hall of Fame in 2007, and I held the position of Netherlands' all-time top goal scorer for 5 years until that was broken by Patrick Kluivert, and I now sit fourth on the list.
People will be starting to get this now.
Yeah, I think it's starting to... And this one is just going to completely... settle any doubt. I was Bruce Rioch's first signing at Arsenal, costing a then British record fee of $7.5 million when the Gunners signed me from Inter Milan in 1995. I went on to form a deadly partnership with Thierry Henry in North London. So come on, Dave, I know you've got it.
Do you want me to tell them?
Yeah, go for it.
Dennis Bergkamp.
Absolutely spot on. Well done. So that was Dennis Bergkamp. So you're 1-0. Next time I'm going to try catching you out. I'm going to leave them all really vague and deliberate just to pull the scores level.
Right, before we sign off, Jamie, I was wondering if you know what anniversary is marked tomorrow, which would be Tuesday the 6th of February, because as we're recording on this Monday afternoon.
On Tuesday the 6th of February, I do. I believe that's the Munich air disaster, isn't it?
Yeah, it's 60 years since the Munich air disaster, and the Busby Babes, 7 members of the Man United team, died out of a total of 21 people killed. I think there was some press and backroom staff and things like that, but 7 members of the Man United team. And that's 60 years tomorrow. So I just thought I'd mention that. And if anybody, there's a great poem called Flowers of Manchester, quite poignant. If people can have a look at that poem, it's I don't want to read it out on air, but if people can have a look at that poem, Flowers of Manchester.
Flowers of Manchester. I'm just bringing it up here now, so I'll have a little look at that once we've finished. So, yeah, very, very good point. Well made. A real dark hour of English football and, of course, Manchester United's own personal history as well. So, 60 years ago tomorrow, or today, more than likely by the time people are listening to it. But as of recording, it's tomorrow.
Yeah, 6th of February.
Yeah. So a very good point and well made. So Dave, is there any other business that we've got going on?
That's fine. That's it. It's all done and done. Another episode gone.
Right, okie dokie. So I'll just use the opportunity to get the usual goodbyes dished out. So remember to check out the game at EuroFantasyLeague.com and the league-specific games as well. Fantasy-Liga.com, FantasySerie.com and Fantasy-Premier.com. You can visit us on social media. We're on Twitter, as I said before, at EuroFantasyPod. I'm on there at JamClean1984. Dave is there, Davey Fennick. And you can email us as well, eurofantasypod@gmail.com. We're on Apple Podcasts, Acast, Stitcher, TuneIn, Podcast Addict, Google Play Music, all the usual platforms. So if you can find us and leave us a rating and review, that would be massively appreciated. The more we get, the more listeners, the more visible, the more interaction we can have as well. We can maybe start getting a few, bit of correspondence read out, a bit like we've been doing lately with Liam in Southampton's been mentioned a couple of times. Would like to do that for more of you, so if you could get in touch, anything football related you want to have a chat about, and we can make that happen. Okay, so thank you once again for listening, and thank you, Dave, for joining us again.
Cheers, Jamie. Enjoyed it.
Yep, me too, and I'll see you in a couple of weeks' time.